G'day everyone, my name's Will and welcome to the April edition of Australian Model Railway News. In this episode, we'll take a look at all the news and announcements from Australian model railway manufacturers, as well as current exhibition information. Australian Model Railway News is supported by ABR Model Works, who have a range of 3D printed parts for your model railway. And don't forget to use code AMRN22 at checkout for 10% off your orders, which also helps out you and helps out the channel. As well as that, this video is made possible by Patreon, where you can support the channel for as little as $1 a month. Now, before we get into all the announcements and information, don't forget to be subscribed so you can keep up to date with all the videos that I have coming out well into the future. So, to kick off this month, Auscision gave us a bunch of new announcements. Teaser photos at the end of March have now been confirmed as N-scale C44 ACIs, which for those of you who don't know are one of the more modern locomotives that operate on the standard gauge network throughout Australia. Now this has come after the announcement of the NRs, which are probably the most common locomotive on Australia's standard gauge network. They've said that the future N-scale locomotive releases will be the C44 ACI locomotives, which will include the following locomotives and liveries: ARG AC class, Pacific National 92 and 93 classes, Queensland Railways National 6000 class, Horizon 6020 class, Extra Rail XR class, Genesee and Wyoming Australia GWU class, Centennial Coal SSR CEY class, CFCLA CF class, Fletcher FIE class, and Mineral Resources MRL classes. Locomotives will be available in standard DC and with the option of factory-fitted ESU Lokesound 5 DCC sound. As this project is only in its early stages, there is no expected delivery to be announced yet, pre-orders or pricing. Now, in the teasers that I put in last month's video, we also saw Glencore and Crawford's locomotives in those teasers. However, they haven't actually said anything about them in this release. So I assume for both the HO modeler and the N-scale modeler, well, there's probably going to be a surprise announcement at some point. Just staying with the N-scale releases from Auscision, there is still no new information about the N-scale NR releases. HO scale, and more surprisingly N-scale, samples of the indigenous NRs are available at Australian Modeler, with a huge thanks to Big Dirty Freight Trains for sending in these photos. Now, we have to assume that we must be pretty close to the release for the HO model. However, in regards to the indigenous N-scale NRs, Auscision did have this to say via a social media comment. There have been samples available at Australian Modeler for the past few months. Not a good result, unfortunately, so we probably won't see them produced. HO scale NHYH coal hopper painted samples have arrived. And with that, they've also called last chance to pre-order these at $220, which is a saving of $80 per 4-car pack, as this price will increase to $300 on the 1st of May, with a delivery date still to be advised. My personal favourite in this release is the wagon with the code AHA from G&W. Auscision announced, funnily enough, on the same day as the 60th anniversary of the Melbourne to Sydney standard gauge line opening and the first standard gauge passenger train, a HO scale Southern Aurora passenger car rerun. They've said that this will be a small rerun of these very popular HO scale Southern Aurora passenger cars. All original sets and single cars will be produced along with a 10-car Sydney to Melbourne Express, which includes FAM cars and a PHA power van in the set. New single cars will be offered for the very first time, from Southern Aurora 10-car sets like the PNH power van and the MHN parcel vans, including the illuminated blue neon Southern Aurora sign version, BCS lounge cars, and RMS dining cars. Now this rerun is strictly limited to 100 sets or cars of each type, so if you don't want to miss out for this second run, they have advised to ordering to avoid disappointment. Auscision have also said that sound kits for the PHN and PHA power vans will also be available in 2023. This will include an ESU Lokesound FX decoder pre-programmed with generator sounds, and Auscision Vandersound speakers all ready to install in your power van to operate on DCC. The PHA power van from the SMX set NPS62 in 5 different liveries in a future release. Mail away order forms are available on their website. So will you be pre-ordering a set? They are priced at between $1,300 and $1,400 per 10-car set, with $520 for a 4-car add-on set and between $130 and $230 per single car. And with that, all prices will rise upon delivery. And another N-scale announcement from Auscision, who posted a few photos of an unannounced and, well, unreleased New South Wales Government Railways 80 class in N-scale. First, one of the exhaust fan and then one with the N-scale NR. They've said that they plan on releasing the 80 class in the following liveries: Indian Red, Reverse, Bicentennial, Candy, Freight Rail, Freight Corp and Pacific National. These 80 class models will be available in standard DC with then the option of a factory fitted ESU Lokesound DCC sound. This project is very much in the early stages with no pre-orders or delivery dates available at this time. So now with 3 locomotive announcements, the C44 ACI, the NRs and now the 80 class, it does make me wonder when we're going to see an announcement for N-scale rolling stock. Now, this is, of course, all very exciting for the N-scale modeler, especially going forward. And like I keep saying, I think N-scale is going to be the scale going into the future for a lot of new modelers. And yeah, that's awesome. It'll be really great when we get to see them. So I do wonder what they'll release first for rolling stock. And I guess that leaves a bit to speculate on. And right at the end of the month, Auscision gave us one last announcement. In N-scale, the 442 class locomotive tooling sample. This model will be available in the following liveries: Indian Red, Reverse, Candy, Freight Rail, Light and Dark Blue, R&H Transport, CF, CLA, SSR and BHP. And like the other releases, it will be available in standard DC with the option of factory fitted ESU Lokesound 5 DCC sound with a delivery date to be advised. At the Easter Train Expo, held at Diamond Creek in Melbourne over the Easter long weekend, SDS and Phoenix, Reproductions, had 2 new HO gauge VRK class steam engine samples, both with smoke deflectors and without. Now, here's some footage and photos of these pre-production models running on the Australian Model Railway Association layout here in Melbourne. As a side note, these are running with the D3 tenders so they could run on a DCC layout. As well as that, they were selling some limited quantities of the 1960s Rail Enthusiast Tour engines and 2 new D3639 models. The tour engines are celebrating tours undertaken by the Victorian ARHS and a steam rail version. I must say, the alternative headboards do look awesome. However, I have been told that they will not be available for individual sale. They've also said via social media that they will receive the final balance of their ESU sound decoders and all outstanding orders will be fulfilled. Also stating that the production of the D3 run is underway and they will rerun selected popular black engines and D3639 in Canadian red and black with red lining. And these models will appear on their website at the end of April and should hopefully be available in the 3rd quarter this year. As well as that, we did get to see the much awaited 81 class locomotives in Freight Rail Blue. We were also treated to seeing a sound equipped 81 at the club. And so far, it sounds very good, and I am pretty keen to get my hands on one for my collection. However, no new news on when these are going to be available. We also got a look at the tooling samples for an upcoming narrow gauge release. These are the Midland Railways, West Australian Government Railways F-Class, and the now announced 1620 class, and they do look excellent. These do have the HO and 3.5 bogies fitted, but will also be available in HO. On that, CGL Models and SDS have now officially announced the 1620 models. In an online release, CGL Models, in conjunction with SDS Models, are pleased to formally announce the 1620 class locomotive project. CGL say they are proud to be involved with the research and development of this project for Queensland modelers, and the 3rd Queensland locomotive produced in partnership with SDS Models. The 1620 project involves 15 models which will be available in both HO 3.5 and HO, as well as DC or DCC factory fitted with sound. Liveries include paint schemes from the 1620's distinguished career with Queensland Railways from the 1960s to the mid-1990s, as well as preserved heritage operations and in service in Malaysia. The 1620 class models are expected to be available in 2023, and CGL Models will be accepting pre-orders now. They've said that some running numbers and liveries are expected to be popular, so to avoid disappointment, they recommend pre-ordering your models as soon as possible. Pre-ordering also allows you to take advantage of the special pre-delivery price offer, which is $285 for DC and $415 for DCC and sound equip. In addition to the 15 numbers in this production run, CGL Models will also be offering an exclusive 1620 class model from the 70s to 80s era. This particular model, with running number 1651, will only be available from CGL Models and can now be pre-ordered. So some pretty exciting stuff for Queensland models and even Malaysian modelers. Now, they have said that due to a bogie casting issue, they have not yet completed the samples of the Tasmanian Y class, but hope to have that in a month or so. Order forms for the WAF and Tasmanian Y will be available in the next few months from CGL and SDS. As well as that, Victorian Railways and V-Line T-Class locomotive painted samples were on display next to the Queensland Railway 1640 locomotives at the Diamond Creek exhibition. Now, I did cover the 1460 announcement in a previous episode, so if you do want to go back and look at that, feel free to after this video. Now, there is no further information available on these upcoming releases, but I'm sure we'll get something soon. Stephan Johnston Models has stated via social media, after a long hiatus, some more work has been done on the 6-wheel Gin. All parts have been finalised and the taps have been sent off to be cast in brass. It has also taken a while to finish off, but the end is now in sight. So looking at the comments on this post, it looks like it's going to be a pretty popular bit of rolling stock for you New South Wales HO scale modelers. Section 8 Models released a couple of new kits at the Diamond Creek Model Railway exhibition, with QW2 Victorian Railways Well Wagon kit. Now, I had a bit of a yarn to Steve at the exhibition about this plastic and white metal kit, and it sounds really interesting with a number of different options on how to build it, or rather the wheel and bogie arrangement. Now, I am kicking myself that I didn't buy one, however I will endeavour to get my hands on one, and I think it'll be a bit of fun to build and something a bit different. And when I do, I'll make a video on it. As well as that, they also released a kit of the Victorian Railways CA brake van. And if you do like the look of any of those kits, don't hesitate to contact them via the Section 8 website. A quick update from Keiran Models, who has released photos of a 3D printed 7mm Z20. Parts for this kit are to be released in July. These parts will find their way into the Keiran Models website as individual parts for the Z20 and many more New South Wales Government Railway steam locomotives. These parts will be available within the next couple of weeks. IDR Models now have painted derm samples, which were on display at the Diamond Creek Expo. As well as that, we did get to have a good look at running samples at AMRA. Now, speaking to Ian, he told us that the derms are now in production and that we should have an exciting update soon. But if you are planning to get one or two and a trailer, I'd say get your orders in now. As well as that, we also got to see some pre-production samples of the CHS and NHVF hoppers. However, no new updates to pass along. Phil at Badger Bits has some very exciting N-scale releases coming very soon. This beautiful N-scale Victorian Railways J-Class, which I'm told there will only be 18 released in kit form. As well as that, there was also this sample of the Victorian Railways Walker. There was also this VR sheet van and other N-scale rolling stock. An update about these releases will be available soon, and when I know more, of course, I will announce it here. Lyndons Trains have announced a run of New South Wales Railways 830 class locomotives in N-scale. The N-scale 830 in G&W will be produced in partnership with Gopher Models, and will be available exclusively through Lyndons Trains. Only 150 are being produced initially. No orders are being taken just yet, although expected arrival is fourth quarter for 2022. These will be ready to run with dual flywheels, all-wheel drive, micro-train couplers, and a factory-applied livery. Lyndon has also released Victorian Railways BMX1 Louver van and South Australian Railways M van with meters, windmills, and pumping equipment advertising, both in N-scale. And lastly from Lyndon, the VR CV Guards van in HO scale is available again. This easy-to-assemble polyurethane kit mastered from a high-resolution resin 3D print representing CV3 to 7. This HO scale kit includes a CV Guards van body, the chassis, Austrains or SDS, Victorian Railways PL bogies and screws for mounting, the decals and the detail parts, and will set you back $85 plus postage. Balyntine Designs have released photos of a trial pack of a detailing kit for the ARM 38 class locomotive. The current trial pack pictured contains locomotive guard irons, which there are two designs of the attachment being trialled, new expansion links shaped to those on a 38, and a cab window frame in 3 different positions: fully closed, half closed, and 3/4 closed. Whilst designed with the ARM C38 in mind, they've said that there should be nothing preventing the upgrade of the Mansfield, Eureka, Docklands, or even the PSM 38 class locomotives. The final purchase price and details will be confirmed in the not too distant future once the trial etches are evaluated and any area of improvement noted. This Australian Railway Models has a set of guard irons, new window frames, and expansion links fitted. These parts have been etched in nickel silver to both match the finish of the standard valve gear and also the chrome finish of the window frames of the real locomotive. They've said that running will take place shortly to gauge how the replacement parts interact. The expectation is there should be no adverse running caused by the fitting of these parts. Some minor design improvements have already been noted for the production run, as well as potential of a further replacement part.
Hi modelers, I'm Chris, the modeler at ABR Model Works, and this video is an update video for Australian Model Railway News. Now, I'm sorry that I've been a little bit absent from YouTube and posting information on what we've been doing for the last couple of months. But as we got to Christmas, we started talking to a few of the modelers that have been working with our system. So we had a couple of our clients say that they had trouble visualizing what they wanted. So in that in mind, we thought, well, hang on a minute, can't we come up with a simpler approach? Something that's more visual and easy to understand and that pretty much anybody could put together. And so what we decided to do was to build a system that allowed you to make a mock-up of the building at actual size. So you could place it on your layout and see what the building was going to really look like. And this is what we've done. What you can do now is download a series of PDF documents that contain a template of all of the different panels and inserts and 3D parts that go together to make these buildings. And so here are some mock-ups that I've done to illustrate this. Now currently I'm working on a video and in that video I talk about these particular mock-ups that I've made and how they relate to the modular model building system, etc. So stay tuned for that. But the reality is it's really very simple. Simply a case of downloading the PDF, cutting out the various panel pieces and inserts, etc., and gluing them onto some cardboard and making up a mock-up of the building that you're looking for. And this is a new kit that we're going to be launching over the next couple of months. And it's a background kit. It's going to be called Slim's Warehouse. Now this took me only a couple of hours to put together. So it's a really quick and easy process. So that's basically what I've been working on. And it's been a little bit more time consuming to put this together than what I first thought it would be. But we're there now. All of the PDFs are currently done and are being added to the website, along with all of the individual panel pieces and the various parts that you need to build a custom kit. And the concept here is that it's a custom kit process. You design the building that you're looking for. You then simply just order just the parts you want, rather than buy a kit that doesn't necessarily suit your needs or is the wrong size or shape or whatever. So we're still going to build kits, but we're going to help people design and build these buildings. In fact, this building is going to probably be the first custom kit building. This is for Eve. He's a master chocolatier in Sydney. So we spoke about this a little bit, and a few weeks ago he contacted us again, just as we were getting to the point of getting the PDFs finished. And so between us, we talked about this particular building, and I made this mock-up for it. That is in the video. So there's a few things that we've done a little bit differently, and it'll give you a good idea as to how to go about doing it. Now, to make that even more interesting, what we're going to do is we're going to run a competition and give away a custom kit. And to enter the competition, it's really simple. You download the PDFs, you make up the building that you want. Around mid-June, we will put the images that people send us of their design up on the website for our customers to vote on. And the building that is voted the most interesting or best, or call it what you like, that person will get that building as a custom kit free. And we'll also be a few other little prizes to give away as part of the competition. So we're just nutting out the details on that, and that'll be available on our website to see what the competition rules are all about in the coming week or two. So that's it. That's what I've been working on. It's been an interesting little project, and I'm really glad that I've got it done, because I think it's going to really help you guys design and build what it is that you're looking for. On another note, I'm very happy that I've now had a few photos from people that have made some of our kits, and we'll be putting those up on in our gallery on the website in the next week or so, once I've got this all sorted. And so that's been really quite exciting for me personally to see how you guys have gone about taking one of our kits and turning it into a building for your own layout. In fact, one of the sets of photos was for Michael's Freight Depot. That particular customer customized it, which was really great. I'm very grateful that you sent us the photos, and I'll share them with you shortly. Now, there is one other thing, and I'm hoping that all of you subscribers to Australian Model Railway News can really help us out. We're trying to crack the US marketplace, and to do that, our main vehicle to market the product is through YouTube. And so YouTube have a community component to the channel where you can actually post bits of news and photos of things that you're doing, and etc. It's only available once you reach a certain number of subscribers. So for this next month or so, we're really looking to have a bit of a subscriber drive. So we'd really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to us. You're not going to get bombarded with things, so we just don't have time to do that to start with, but that's not the way we work anyway. We like to keep people up to date with what's going on for sure, but at the same time, we're just not going to hound you to death. So please help us out, subscribe. Let's get our subscription level now is somewhere north of 400. We need to be 550, 600. So we're looking for about 150 subscribers over the next few weeks. Would be really great. The other thing to bear in mind is that, of course, once you've subscribed to the channel and our newsletter, each month we do a draw and we give away $100 worth of voucher that you can spend on any of our parts. So that's it, guys. I hope the little show and tell on our custom building system for the modular model building system has been of interest to you. I'd really be delighted to see what you guys come up with, because there's some great modelers out there, but this is like playing with Lego, but it's just pieces of paper, easy to put together. Lay the pieces out, watch the video, and let's see what people come up with. It'll be quite exciting. Anyway, enough rambling from me. Have a great day. Thanks for watching this part of Will's video and watching his entire video, and please help us out and subscribe. Thanks again. I'm Chris, the modeler at ABR Model Works. Oh, and I almost forgot. Don't forget to subscribe to Australian Model Railway News and ring the bell icon so that you get notifications. After all, it is the best source of news for the Australian model railway scene.
This month, I picked up a few things from Paul's 3D prints. The HH breakdown van, which is a fascinating piece of rolling stock. Now, this one was $35, requires assembly, paint, wheels, and decals. So once I get it built, I'll post some photos on my website and my social media. Now, Paul has a huge range of Victorian Railways 3D prints, and I would highly suggest checking out his Facebook page, especially if you're a Victorian Railways modeler. Now, I have thought about making a standalone video on these, so if you are interested in that, or it's something you'd like to see, let me know in the comments below. John at Railmotor Models has released a timber bridge kit. These bridges are extremely common throughout Southern Australia and no doubt across most of Australia. This kit comes with everything aside from the paint and will set you back $30. As well as that, they also will have Australian drywall semi-trailers for $15 in July or August of this year. And if you are interested in these or any of the V-Line, Victorian Railways or Pacific National ballast wagons, email John at intertrains@gmail.com. Lastly, in my own news, this month I released my first t-shirt, and thank you to everyone who pre-ordered it, and by now all the pre-orders should have shipped. If you are interested in getting one, it's got the VR wings on the front and it's got Flinders Street Station on the back. As well as that, there are other bits of merchandise on there, and there is another pre-order. This time I'm going to do another shirt, something a bit more simple. It's the Radio Equip logo. It did appear on Victorian locomotives or locomotives that ran in Victoria throughout the 80s, I believe. And yeah, if you are after one, the pre-order is there. The pre-order will run until the end of April. At the end of April, it will cut off and then they will be produced, and well, all the rest of the information is on the website, as well as all the other bits of merch. As well as that, the merch does help produce these videos. So if you are interested, that'd be grouse. Also with the merch, if you do spend over $150 now, you get free postage. You just have to use the code free postage at checkout to activate that, or you'll get express post for all of $5. Now, something that got brought up during the month at the exhibitions that I attended, a lot of you don't realize that I have a new video that comes out every week. Every Saturday at 9 AM Melbourne time, there is a new video. There's a couple of easy ways to keep up to date with that. One is subscribing and having notifications turned on. Either of those things, you're not going to miss out. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on my website. All three of those I post on quite actively, so all the links for that are in the description below. So that's all for manufacturer updates. What are you most keen for? Leave it in the comments below, let us know your thoughts. Now, on to exhibition news and announcements. On the 15th of May, the Railway Modelers Club of Queensland will hold a buy and sell day at their club rooms at Brendale, Queensland from 10 AM to 1 PM. They've said there will be about 50 tables of new and pre-loved items for sale, and their layouts, which are from N to G scale, will be running. The Great Train Show at the Rosehill Racecourse, put on by the Epping Club in New South Wales, will be held on the 14th and 15th of May. The Steam and Vintage Machinery Rally at Gisborne Vintage Machinery Society in Victoria will be held on the 15th of May, and of course they'll have their model railway on display. The Murray Railway Modelers will have their exhibition on the 21st and 22nd of May at the Marimba Community Centre, Lavington in Albury. AMRA Victoria will be hosting a sale day at their club rooms at Glen Iris on the 22nd of May from 10 AM to 4 PM. There will be a lot of locomotive and rolling stock available, spanning many eras and countries. There will be a mini model railway expo at Rail Heritage West Australia at Basildon on the 5th of June. Queen's Birthday long weekend will see the Ballarat Model Train Show from the 11th to the 13th at the Woodman's Hill Recreation Centre, Ballarat. The LVMRA will hold their biannual Morwell exhibition at the Kernoid Hall in Morwell on the 11th and 12th. Waverley Model Railway Club will have their exhibition on the 11th to the 13th to be held at the Brandon Park Community Centre in Glen Waverley, with a number of layouts and demonstrations and traders at show, and I will be attempting to go to all three of those exhibitions across that long weekend. In Adelaide, the Adelaide Model Railway exhibition will be held at the Greyhound Park, Angle Park, South Australia. On Saturday and Sunday, the 9th and 10th of July, the Railway Modelers Club of Queensland will hold its annual Pine Rivers Model Railway and Hobby Expo at the new, much larger venue at the South Pine Sports Association in Brendale, Queensland. The Stawell Model Railway exhibition will be held in Stawell on the 9th and 10th of July. The All Gauges Model Railway Club in Belmont, Brisbane will hold two big model train sales, on the 31st of July and the other on the 27th of November, with 50 plus tables of trains and paraphernalia. The Australian Model Railway Association Victoria will be presenting the 2022 Caulfield Model Railway exhibition at Caulfield Racecourse over the weekend of the 20th and the 21st of August. This is set to be a premier event, and I would highly recommend attending. On Sunday, the 6th of November, the Railway Club of Queensland will hold a buy, swap and sell day at their club rooms in Brendale, Queensland from 10 AM to 1 PM. Modelling the Railways of South Australia convention will be held on the 3rd of September 2022 at Flinders Medical Centre, Lecture Theatres, Bedford Park. Phillip Island and District Modelers will be holding their exhibition on September 17th and 18th in Cowes, Phillip Island. And lastly, from the 7th to the 9th in Goulburn, the National N-Scale Convention will be held in Goulburn, with workshops, layouts, and they've said a friendly, enjoyable time. This will cost you $160, including reservations, clinics, all meals, morning and afternoon tea. Extra activities will include trike rides at Crookwell Railway Museum and a guided tour of Goulburn Roundhouse. That actually sounds like a really, really good event. So that's all for exhibition updates. If you are in a model railway club and you do have an exhibition or an open day coming up, don't forget you can email me with all the details and I will add it to this video. Now, just jumping back to my own website, I have actually added a map on there with a list of all the clubs in Australia and where they are located and contact details. So if you want to head over to that, if you're in a model railway club, and see if you're there, and if you're not, once again, email me. I will add it in so people can find your club and information about it and openings and things like that, because, well, you should always join your local club. It's a great time. This month's question, Fremo, and why it isn't really a thing in Australia. For those of you who don't know, Fremo is, I guess, a really interesting way to exhibit a layout. Basically, it's just a lot of modules that are set to a standard all bolted together. So in theory, you can build a module that is as long in any shape, yard, scenario that you want within a set of rules. And as long as it bolts onto as long as the ends are the same, you can bolt it onto as many other modules as you want, which means you don't have to build a huge layout at home potentially. And also it makes for a really interesting viewing. Now, I'm a big fan of the American channels that post videos of Fremo and European ones as well, but there's nothing here. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be awesome to be able to go to an exhibition that is one layout and it's huge and it's non-conventional. It's not like your typical tail chaser or, you know, a switching layout or something. It's something that almost is a real railway with different types of terrain and scenarios to go through. And of course, you can run it in an operations kind of mode with, you know, waybills and things like that. Anyway, I see a lot of groups on Facebook start up like Aussie Fremo groups, but it never gets anywhere, and I'm not entirely sure why that is. You look at the American ones for like the NMRA standard, and it seems to work. So why doesn't it work here? And is it something that you would be interested in? I would love to see it, and I've joined those Facebook groups, and it always just, unfortunately seems to fall away. And I'm not sure why that is. But anyway, if it is something you're interested in, or have any thoughts about, leave it in the feedbacks. I guess the question is, why doesn't Fremo work in Australia? Or does it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. All right, so before we close out the video, I'd like to say a huge thank you to the Patreons. Thank you so much to all the existing Patreons and all the new Patreons. That is amazing. Thank you so much. If you are interested in becoming a Patreon and supporting the channel, it's in 3 different tiers. Starts at $1, middle tier's $3, top tier's $5. It helps out the channel immensely, and it means that I can put more time into making videos. And thank you so much. If you are interested in more information about it, of course, there is a link in the description below. I also need to say a huge thank you to AMRA Melbourne for the running shots this month, as well as the pre-production shots of the SDS and IDR models running around their layout. If you are interested in joining AMRA, once again, there will be links in the description below. And lastly, thank you so much to everyone who came and said hello to me at the Diamond Creek and the Bendigo exhibitions. It really brought home why I made this channel. The amount of excellent feedback I got from everyone, and, you know, comments are comments, but when I meet you all in real life, that really, I guess, validates the channel. And I can't say thank you enough to everyone who watches this channel and everyone who said hello to me over the last month. And next month I will be at a couple more exhibitions, and June, of course, I'll be at even more. So if you do see me, say hello, and thank you all so much for watching. Anyway, let's round it out. Like I said, if you do enjoy these videos and you haven't yet, don't forget to be subscribed so you can keep up to date with everything I've got coming out, or check out my social media and website because that has updates on it as well. And don't forget, you can share these videos with anyone that you think would be interested. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all really, really soon. Hooroo.